fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty hi-yo silver, the Lone Ranger. With his faithful Indian companion Tonto, the daring and resourceful masked rider of the plains led the fight for law and order in the early western United States. Nowhere in the pages of history can one find a greater champion of justice. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver. Let's go, big fella. Hi-yo, Silver! Hi!
Buck Carey was a ruthless outlaw who, with his gang, terrorized the Southwest Territory. Buck was fearless in a reckless sort of way, but there was one soft spot in his makeup that even his men respected. His aging grandparents had shown him the only kindness he had ever known. After their death, Buck had a strong protective feeling for elderly people. For instance, when Buck and his gang planned to hold up a stagecoach, said to be carrying a wealthy man from the east.
The stage will be coming along in a few minutes, men.
It's about time.
From what I heard, it's carrying a wealthy Easterner.
Yeah, when the stage come into Big Rock yesterday, the driver said the Easterner got sick, stayed overnight at Hilltown. He planned to take the stage today to continue his trip. Driver said he seemed to have plenty of cash with him.
Well, we can use it. Now, Tex, you and I'll get the cash from the passenger while the others get the strong box from the top of the stage.
Right.
Hey, the stage is coming now. It'll come around the turn in a minute.
Mount your horses, men.
Yeah, steady, boy.
Have your guns ready? Let's go. Get up!
Come on, get up.
Whoa! Driver and guard covered. Get the strong box.
All right.
Come on, Tex. We'll go to the coach.
All right.
I'm ready. Open the door. The axe ornery, you'll get a bullet.
Look, mister, I don't carry a gun. Just got my life savings. If you take that, I won't be able to live. I'm an old man. Trying to start over again, it'd be too much for me.
Old Duffer's scared to death. Hand over your cash, mister.
Oh, wait, Tex.
Oh, what's the matter?
Haven't you got any respect for an old man?
Oh, look, Buck, the old hombre's carrying plenty of cash.
Get it and put away your gun. Like he says, he's too old to start again.
What, old savvy? Let me get the cash.
Shut up and close the coach door.
You must be loco.
Listen, close the door, I said, and be careful what you say. I may be just loco enough to plug you. Now close it.
Sure.
So long, mister. Come on, Tex. Good leather, Tex.
Of all the crazy things to
Listen,
do.
Don't make me sore, Tex. Nobody can say Buck Carey ever robbed old folks of their savings. Did you get the cash box, man?
Yeah, we got it all set.
All right, then, let's go. Get up there.
Get up.
On other occasions, Buck was tough and always quick to use his guns, such as when he and the gang held up the cafe in Hilltown.
Hey, it's a holdup. The carry gang.
It's a holdup, all right. Line up over there with your hands up, all of you.
They can't get away with this.
Hold it! No! Any other hombre who's foolish enough to draw, get the same. Now go get their cash, man.
All right.
A week later, Sheriff Pickens of Big Rock sat in his office with one of his deputies looking over some new handbills. He looked up as the door opened, and what seemed to be a teenaged boy entered.
Well, son, what can we do for you? We're busy, eh? Hey, aren't you kind of young to be wearing a gun?
I'm old enough.
Maybe that's a toy pistol he has, Sheriff.
No, it's real. Loaded with bullets.
Talks tough for a youngster. You ought to make him take off that gun belt. Most likely belongs to his old man anyway.
Yes. Now, look here, son. Young fellas like you might get into trouble carrying a real gun. If your dad knew you had
My
it...
dad gave it to me, Sheriff.
And he must be loco.
Don't call my dad loco, Savvy.
Hey. Holster that gun and stop trying to play tough. Somebody might get hurt.
Yeah, somebody might. I'm not playing, mister. I'm downright serious when it comes to gunplay.
Now, son, calm down. I can't figure why your dad allows you to wear a gun at your age. Who are you anyway? What's your dad's name?
My dad is Silas Robinson.
What?
United States Marshal in Pecos.
Wait a minute. You must be Silas Jr., the one folks call Babyface Robinson.
That's right.
Smoke.
Wait,
I'm 22 and an expert with a gun. I can't help it if I don't look my age. But neither did Billy the Kid look his age.
by thunder, I've heard plenty about you, Babyface. Your dad promised to send someone to help round up Carey and his gang, but I didn't expect he'd send you.
Well, he did, Sheriff. And here's my deputy marshal badge.
Well, we're glad to have you here to help us. Buck Carey and his gun slicks are sure making plenty of trouble hereabouts. Sit down, son. I mean, Babyface.
Thanks. You have any plan in mind for rounding up that gang, Sheriff?
No, we've been trying to trail him, but without success.
Well, I thought over a plan that might work if you're willing to try it.
Well, I'll tell you better after we hear about it.
All right. I'll tell you what I have in mind. Then you can decide what you want to do.
Late that afternoon, the Lone Ranger and Tonto rode a trail through the hills near Big Rock. They rounded a bend in the trail and pulled to a stop as they came face to face with the young deputy marshal.
Outlaw, huh?
Don't draw.
That was quick drawing, mister.
It's easy to outdraw a boy.
He may look like a teenage boy, Tonto, but I recognize him as Babyface Robinson, 22-year-old son of Marshal Robinson of Pecos. And he's an expert marksman.
You seem to know a lot, masked man. Like you just said, I'm a good shot. Not many hombres can outdraw me like you just did. Now that you got the drop on me, I suppose you figure on taking me to meet the gang you run with, huh?
Oh, we're not outlaws, Babyface.
What about that mask you're wearing?
I wear it for a purpose, but I'm on the side of the law.
Holy mackerel, wait a minute. My dad told me about an hombre who wears a mask and rides a big white stallion. Told me about your Indian friend, too. You must be the Lone Ranger.
Yes, that's right. Your father and I have worked together in the past. Tonto and I came this way to help in the capture of Buck Carey and his gang.
Well, that's why I came here. Dad sent me to try to get a line on those sneaking coyotes. He made me a deputy marshal.
I noticed your badge. You should make a good lawman.
I aim to be. But I sure wish I didn't look so doggone young.
Oh, your appearance might be a help to you at times. I admire your courage and your ability to handle a gun.
Thanks, mister.
Are you searching for the outlaws' hideout alone?
No, I'm heading for Hilltown. I plan to take the stage back to Big Rock in the morning. You see, I have an idea how to trick the outlaws.
Oh, how does the stage trip figure in your plan?
Me not savvy.
It's this way. Sheriff Pickens in Big Rock is having the word spread around that the stage will carry a large shipment of cash. We figure Buck Carey will get wind of it.
Well?
We're hoping Carey and his men will hold up that stage. We feel sure they're still in the territory this side of the Pecos River. The sheriff and his posse will wait at the river in hiding, then follow the stage.
What then?
I'll be riding in the coach. As soon as the outlaws appear, the driver and the guard will reach. They'll say the cash box is in the coach. Carrie will most likely open the coach door, and I'll make out like I'm just a scared young'un for a minute.
And then?
Well, I figure he'll be taken off guard. Then I'll get the drop on him and tell him to make his men drop their guns. The guards will fire 2 shots as a signal. Then we'll keep the gang covered while the sheriff and the posse ride in to take over.
Babyface, why not let Tonto and me help you carry through your plan?
Mighty glad to have you. But how would you?
Listen, go on to Hilltown. We'll follow. I'll disguise myself as an elderly man, then I'll ride the coach with you. I have heard that Carrie has an odd quirk that causes him to respect elderly people. The disguise would throw him off guard.
That good idea.
Yeah. You could pose as my granddad. Then we'd both get the drop on him and the others.
Whoa there, whoa, steady there.
Later, during the early evening, one of Buck's men who had been to Big Rock entered the hideout cabin in the hills.
What brought you back so early, Hank?
I heard some news in town that might be of interest.
Well, speak up. What is it?
I heard about a cash shipment coming in on the stage from Hilltown tomorrow.
That's interesting, all right.
I figured you'd want to know. I also found out something I wasn't supposed to hear about, Buck.
What?
The sheriff sent a special deputy to Hilltown to come back as a passenger on the stagecoach.
Say, that gives me an idea. I'll have Tex lead the gang to hold up that stage.
What? Why aren't you going along yourself?
I'll tell you why. I'm going to be a passenger on that stage, along with that special deputy.
Jumping catfish. I might be recognized, Buck. Well, that's taking too big a chance.
I won't be taking a chance. I won't look like myself, Hank. Even you wouldn't know me.
Maybe not. How are you going to work it?
I have a cousin, a woman who runs a boarding house in Hilltown. She used to be a stage actress.
What's she got to do with it?
I'll get her to fix me up like a woman. Stuff on my face, skirts, cloak, a bonnet and a veil. And I'll ride the stage posing as a woman.
Yeah, you might get by with that, Buck. But be sure not to say much.
You leave it to me. I'll tell the rest of the gang my plans. Then I'll ride to Hilltown later tonight. That special deputy the sheriff sent won't live to get back to Big Rock. Tomorrow when that stage arrives, he'll be found dead.
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger adventure. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue. The following morning, when the Lone Ranger, disguised as an elderly man, approached the stage with Babyface Robinson, Buck Carey, impersonating a rotund, middle-aged woman, was already seated in the coach.
Mister, I sure give you credit. I'd never suspect you weren't a real old man. You did a mighty good job with that disguise.
Well, thanks, Babyface. Without your gun belt and with your gun in a holster under your arm, you look like a youngster traveling with his grandfather. Oh, look, we'll have company. A woman is sitting in the coach.
Doggone it. She doesn't know what she's in for. Reckon it can't be helped, though. Here we are. Let me help you into the coach, Granddad.
Thank you, son.
Got here just in time, mister.
Yep.
You and your grandson almost missed the stage. Better hurry and get in.
All right, driver.
Yeah.
Sure couldn't travel these days without a young grandson like you to help me get around, Junior. Reckon it's all right if I sit next to the lady?
I'll sit across from you, Granddad.
All set in there?
We're all settled, driver.
Right. Get up! Get up there!
Going fur, ma'am?
Far as Big Rock.
Lady sounds like she has a bad cold.
Yes, I have.
Reckon you don't want to talk much then, ma'am?
A little as possible.
Granddad, you ought to try to rest.
Hard to rest in the stagecoach, my boy. My body gets as old as I am. The bumping sort of rattles the bones.
Well, try to sleep anyway, Granddad. Take a nap. I'll wake you up when you come to the bridge across the river near Big Rock.
Get up there! Come on! Get on there!
After Babyface Robinson suggested that the Lone Ranger, posing as his elderly grandfather, should take a nap, no more was said in the coach. Neither the Lone Ranger nor Babyface slept, but they did close their eyes until the stage approached the bridge across the Pecos River. Then Babyface reached out and touched the elderly figure across from him.
Granddad, wake up.
What?
We're going to cross the bridge in a minute.
By Jiminy Junior, that's a slap after all.
It did you good, Granddad. Here's the bridge.
After the stage crossed the bridge, the three men rode in tense silence. Buck didn't suspect for a moment that the elderly man next to him was not what he seemed, nor did he suspect that the youth across from him was the famous Babyface Robinson. The outlaw leader was puzzled. He had expected to ride with a special deputy, but couldn't decide what to make of his strange companions. Their presence interfered with his plans. He decided the old man would be left on the trail, but the youth would be shot. His gun, cleverly concealed by the folds of the skirt, was tucked in his belt. He listened as Babyface spoke to the Lone Ranger.
Were you ever on a stage when it was held up, Granddad?
Yep, I recollect it was, Junior. Wouldn't like to go through it again, though. Oh.
What would you do, ma'am, if we were stopped by outlaws?
Well, if it happens, you'll find out, boy.
The Lone Ranger glanced sharply at the veiled figure beside him, and it was at that moment that the suspicion which had suddenly taken root in his mind proved true.
Outlaws!
Reach, boy, and don't move.
Harry had moved with lightning speed and sat pointing a gun at Babyface. The outlaw chief spoke again.
The old man's going to get out when the stage stops.
You sure fooled us with that getup, mister.
Sure. Maybe you and the old man haven't heard of how smart Buck Carey is, Button.
Not as smart as he thinks he is. Drop that gun.
Gun to my ribs. You're not an old man.
I've got his gun. I'll cover him, too.
Hey, this don't make sense.
That fellow is Babyface Robinson, deputy marshal.
Holy mackerel, the special deputy. I've heard of Babyface. But you two hombres won't get away with this. My gang will take care of you.
Out of the corner of his eye, the Lone Ranger saw Tex appear at the window of the coach. The masked man swung around, firing at the same time.
Hey, men, something's wrong. Tex got shot.
Give me that gun.
Hold it or you'll get plugged.
Keep him covered, Babyface. I'll try to hold off the others.
Don't move, Carey.
Now use your gun. Shoot.
Now don't shoot, you fools. You might hit me. Hold your fire.
Hold your fire. Buck's in trouble.
Hey, help me onto my horse. Let's get away from here.
Wait, you can't go without me.
The sheriff and posse are coming.
This was a trick to trap us.
That's right. Babyface and the sheriff planned it. Watch Carey, Babyface. I'm going to help the posse.
For a few minutes, there was a heated battle. The Lone Ranger, crouched beside the stagecoach, prevented some of the outlaws from leaving until the sheriff and posse moved in on all of them. Finally, the gang was captured. They stood in a dejected group as Tonto and the sheriff and his men rode up and dismounted.
Easy, Scout, easy, fella. You all right, Kimasabi?
Yes, Tonto.
Who's this old man who helped us capture the outlaws? For his age, by golly, he sure has a lot of get up and go.
Him not old fella, Sheriff. Him friend me tell you about.
You mean this is your friend?
Ah.
Look, Tonto, he is old. My eyes aren't that bad.
Look again, Sheriff.
Say, those gray whiskers were fake.
That's right.
Tonto said he rode with a masked man.
I wear the mask most of the time, but now and then a disguise is in order, Sheriff, such as now.
You wouldn't think he was old to watch him in action, Sheriff.
I saw him in action. I think he did a good job of turning the tables on the Carey gang and holding them here till we came along. Say, which one is Buck Carey?
Look inside the coat, Sheriff.
Huh? Yeah. Hey, great day. A woman all tied up.
That polecat isn't a woman, Sheriff. That's Buck Carey wearing a disguise.
Buck Carey? Holy catfish. He sure looks a sight in that get-up.
The Indian Tonto came along and helped me tie him. All you have to do is to take him to jail.
I should have guessed that young-looking fellow was Babyface Robinson. It was being with that old man that threw me off. Made him seem more like a boy than ever.
Harry is finished. Thanks to your excellent plan, Babyface. You'll be a mighty fine lawman.
Yep, he sure will be. Fact is, he's won already.
Kimasabi,
Yes, Tonto.
we bring Silver. Him another side of coach with Scout.
Good enough. I'm sure Babyface and the sheriff can take care of these crooks and get them to jail. Oh, give my regards to your dad, Babyface. I'll see you both soon again.
All right, mister. I'm sure glad to get the chance to work with you. I'll tell Dad, and he'll be glad to hear from you. So long.
Adios.
Goodbye to you.
Goodbye.
Say, who is that tall fella fixed like an old man? Yeah, what is this? Do you know him, Sheriff?
I know who he is. That get-up is a disguise. He usually wears a black mask. Believe me, he's sure a fine hombre and a friend well worth having. I'll always be mighty proud I had the chance to work side by side with the Lone Ranger.
This is a feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated, created by George W. Trendle, produced by Trendle Campbell Muir Incorporated, directed by Charles D. Livingston, and edited by Fran Stryker. The part of the Lone Ranger is played by Brace Beamer.